everyone, welcome back to Gardener Reviews. Today we will be taking a look at some painters, equipment, some tools, products, things like that. Actually, we're going to be doing it probably the whole week here. We'll have a few different videos out on some of the tools and the products that I have either just found recently or that I've been using for a while to get some pretty good, decent results. I am not a professional painter, so I'll just put that out here in the beginning, but I do a fair share of painting and staining, and I've figured out that there's some products that I like, some tools that I like, and I'm kind of refining that as I go, but I wanted to share some of those with you today. And first things first though, I do want to apologize. You can probably hear the rain on the roof of the shed. It's not perfectly insulated yet, and I'm sorry if that's coming through in the video, but as with probably all you guys, kind of limited on your scope in terms of timing and getting all this stuff done. So I have to do what I got to do. It's raining. Looks like it's gonna be raining for the next few days, so here we are. Today I want to take a look at frog tape with you guys. Now, there's probably a bunch of videos of this stuff out there in YouTube world or anywhere else on the internet, but this is a product that I had tried years and years ago. Didn't care for it at the time, and just more recently, last couple months, tried it again and absolutely fell in love with it. I don't know what exactly changed. If it was me, it's probably me in my application and doing things a little bit better now than I did years ago. But for the longest time, I was a really typical blue tape, 3M, loved that kind of stuff, and had pretty good results with all of their products. That's not a bash against blue tape or 3M or Scotch or whoever you guys are using, but I do think this is a superior product, and it certainly showed on my last project where I kind of had a mixture of both my typical tape that I had been using for a long time, and then I used this and I got much better results. And so yeah, we're gonna just dive into it. If you guys haven't seen this is called Frog Tape. It's by Shurtape Technologies. Now, Shurtape's been making tape for painters, production, all that kind of stuff for a very long time, so it's not a new company, but this is kind of a new product for them. And really what makes this tape in particular really cool and kind of ups the game a bit is Frog Tape, Shurtape, this is a small roll. I love it, and I'm almost out of this roll. They have basically a powdered polymer residue that gets applied to the edge of the tape, both sides of the roll, right? And it gets applied on there. And the idea is when you roll out your tape, all right, let's get a little bit of tape here, and you're gonna lay it down on something, right? So you laying it down, hopefully you guys can see it on the tabletop there. You get it on there nice and straight, and you've got your line, and you want the paint to stop there. You don't want it bleeding underneath. You want it to paint up to the tape line and get nice and sharp right there. Well, it can, depending on the surface and the substrate that you're using, you can have issues where the paint wants to bleed down underneath because you can't get a really good solid lock on the tape to the substrate, the surface. And so what the polymer ends up doing is, because it's a powdered polymer, when you start painting and you run that paint up to it, it activates that polymer and it kind of creates like a liquid seal right on that edge, and it tries to block the paint from being able to penetrate down underneath the tape. Really cool, and I think you can actually find videos where people take like a roll of this and they get it wet, and you can actually see it beating up on the edge of that polymer. So I'll just come out and say it does work incredibly well. Now, I'm not going to say it's absolutely perfect. If you have drywall that's heavily textured and you run this on here, you can still get bleed throughs underneath the tape. So this isn't going to eliminate it 100%. But when I was comparing it, just on my more recent project, I had some tape lines on some drywall and stuff like that. It was textured. It wasn't a super heavy texture, but it was certainly textured. I had far less bleed through with the Frog Tape compared to what I had been using in the past. So this product seems to actually work really well, and I think the smoother the substrate, probably the better that performance. That's going to be true for any tape really, but this one's just going to take it to that whole next level. Also, this does seem to have a very good, strong adhesive, but I did not have any real issues with like damage to the wall or any other materials, except one spot, and I think it was less to do with the tape, and I had a situation where a wall had some paint that probably wasn't properly applied in the past. and it did a little bit of damage there. But for the most part, this stuck incredibly well. It stayed on the surface. It stayed there for the duration of the project. It wasn't very long for me, the situation we were in, but it lasted, and it did much better than the actual other tape. I was having issues where it was coming off the wall, it was coming off trim, and I just fought it and was really frustrated because I would look over at another part of the room where I was testing the green tape out, frog tape, and it was all perfectly flat, no bubbles, no peeling up, nothing. It was really incredible, and it, you know, same room, same paint. That's as good of a scientific experiment that I'm going to do, at least. So it proved itself to me, and I think this, coupled with this cool little green tape cutter here, I did a video already on this, but this is a little tadpole tape cutter. Basically just gets fed on here, and you can cut really nice straight clean lines on your tape roll, so that you can kind of run it up into an edge or something like that where you want a really nice clean straight line. That works really good. But honestly, frog tape, if you guys haven't tried it out, please go get a roll. They make, of course, various widths of this, and it is going to run you a little bit more money compared to some of the other products that are out there. But when it comes to like a really straight line and you don't want to damage any surfaces, you need it to stay in place, spend the extra money, don't get frustrated. This stuff really does work. It's awesome. The only downside that I would say is because it's got that polymer like powdered residue on there, you don't want to store this outside of their little case for a really long period of time. Now, out working for the day or something like that, it's sitting on the side, not a big deal. But if you're going to be going, you know, a couple weeks or something like that, or maybe even a couple days between uses, you definitely want to seal that up, keep that powdered residue nice and dry and intact, so it is ready to go for you on the next job. Now, there's some other awesome, you know, kind of like tricks you can do with this stuff. Like they even have on the back here like a few suggestions where you can go up on their website and they'll show you kind of some extra tips to get really nice clean lines on a textured surface. But you can find those videos on YouTube. I won't go into that today, but there's some really good ideas, some really great tips and tricks for getting an even, you know, more solid line coupled with this, and you're going to get these perfectly laser line, like sharp, perfect scalpel level lines. It's really cool stuff. So let me know what you guys think. This is, of course, the multi-surface. They do have a delicate surface, so the adhesion on that one is even, you know, it's going to be even safer. You're not going to get the duration. I think this is, well, they say 21-day clean removal, but it's 21 days before you paint, 7 days in direct sunlight is basically what they're going to rate this as. And then the delicate surface one, I think it comes in like a yellow, it's a yellow color, I believe. It's going to be a little bit shorter, but if you're running up on something that you are really concerned about and making sure you preserve that surface, definitely use the yellow tape. And then frog tape has introduced kind of more like a production level tape. I believe it's orange, and don't exactly recall, I think one of them may still have that powdered residue, but it's kind of built into a slightly more economical package, and so you're not getting quite the same paper quality and stuff like that. But you'll have to check that out. They do have a lot of tapes. Like I said, Shurtape is the actual maker of frog tape, and they've got a lot of stuff out there. So you guys let me know though what you think. What kind of tape do you use for your painting projects? Again, not a professional, not claiming to be, but this really helped me a lot, and I'm super stoked about it. I'm kind of bummed that I didn't try this again like 2 years ago. So anyways guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Pretty short. Again, I apologize about the rain. I'm sure that is probably annoying on the camera, but as always, leave a comment in the comment section down below. If you don't mind, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.